my name is Stacy. I'm a fifth-year master's student in EAPS, so that means I went here for undergrad as well in the department. And right now I'm focusing on atmospheric science. During my undergrad, I focused more on environmental geosciences work. Within the departments, I'm working with Kerry Emanuel on a project that focuses on the economic benefit of seasonal hurricane forecasts. So if you can do a seasonal hurricane forecast, kind of figure out how many hurricanes you think there are going to be in an upcoming year, why bother doing that? What's the economic reason for doing that? It's a lot of fun. So my undergrad thesis was on reactive gaseous and elemental mercury deposition over terrestrial environments. That was with noelle-selin. And that project was a lot of modeling and trying to figure out how to make large global models more accurate and capture the processes occurring in the Earth more accurately. I also worked on a geobiology project with tanja-bosak over in E25. Was a lot of fun. I got to culture anaerobic bacteria, had airlock chambers that moved your samples around. You had to stick your arms with the gloves, and really I felt very sciencey doing that, which was a lot of fun. And I think what's cool about the department is that people do things in so many different areas that you really can have the chance to do amazing research projects in many different locations even, go on field trips, that sort of thing. So during my time here, I have been able to go out in the field and do some research there, both in classes and through EAPS. So while I was working with tanja-bosak, we were able to go to Russia in the Ural Mountains to try to find fossils, try to find some stromatolites. And we were in the middle of nowhere, rocking around giant rock quarries in the forest, looking for these fossils and meeting Russians and having a good time. And no one really goes to that part of Russia for vacation. So it was really nice to be able to see a different part of the world and meet scientists from other areas and collaborate with them. And I realized that lab spaces everywhere look exactly the same, messy and books everywhere and that kind of thing. So that was fun. Within classes, some of the field trips I've done have been to Mount Washington. That was a great trip. We got to climb a mountain. I had no idea what I had signed up for when I took that class, but it was a great experience to get to see the concepts you're talking about in the field, and just see beautiful scenery and stuff that, you're in Boston most of your time, you never really get to kind of see the greater world. I really like the intro geology class, 12001. Everyone in the major takes it. So it's really nice to be able to meet people who you might not have classes with later. Also, it's pretty popular with students in other majors, so you get to interact with people from all over MIT. It's both a lecture class and a lab class, so you get to kind of have hands-on experience with identifying rocks and minerals, that kind of thing. There's also field trips in that class as well. So we got to go to Boston to look at different building stones, so the library is made out of granite. Oh, this church is a conglomerate. And that was really nice. And then later I really annoyed all of my friends by pointing out what rocks were what and what buildings. They all think I'm crazy now. Right, so my advisor is Kerry Emanuel. He's an absolutely amazing person, really open to communicating, to meeting with you on his own time, and to talk about more than just your research. Talk about what you did that weekend, what your goals are outside of EAPS and after EAPS, which I really appreciated as a student with kind of an uncertain idea about what I want to do next. And really, EAPS professors are all that way. They all really want to meet with you, to learn what you're doing, to help you understand topics, and really kind of go farther than that just basic understanding. And it's amazing because you realize, oh, this professor has a variable named after him, and he wants to know what I did this morning. So it's kind of a really cool way to interact with people. So I took a seminar my freshman year here in aeroastroengineering, and a lot of the professors who came to speak during the seminar were actually EAPS professors from the planetary sciences division, and they talked about finding exoplanets and classifying asteroids, and that work really excited me. I thought it was really cool work that I hadn't really heard about before. So I originally got into the department through planetary sciences, focusing more on astrobiology and finding aliens, which is amazing research. And I really liked that what I was learning was kind of real world. So we could go to class and learn about earthquakes. And then when an earthquake happened, I would kind of know exactly what was going on. And kind of being able to apply all those theories and all that really complicated math to an actual problem. You're doing wave equations, but you're not just talking about abstract waves, you're talking about actual waves in the ocean, in the atmosphere. And that was really cool to me, to kind of be able to see, hey, these theories were invented for a reason. This math exists, this physics is happening, and it's actually, you can actually go out and study it. You actually can go to the field and observe it. You can write computer models about the processes going on in the world and really understand what's happening around you. It was really cool. So I think in the future, I am still really excited about the environment, about the work EAPS is doing, but I really want to take a more applied approach to that sort of research. So I am more interested in science policy and how issues related to the environment, to energy use, economics can all kind of come together. So I think EAPS is starting to do some really interesting things with climate change, with energy sources, that really, I think, ties into that kind of more applied approach. And so I think definitely policy areas are a really exciting thing to me, and that people need to be more educated about science in those areas. And EAPS is such a broad major that you really can learn about policy in such different areas and how policy would apply to atmospheric science versus geosciences, and really kind of be able to tie it all together. I think I didn't know how fun EAPS would be when I kind of started out, how social the department is, how much people really like communicating and talking outside of the department and outside of classes. So my friends in other majors would say, oh, I have this PSET, oh, it's so hard. And then I would say, oh, in my major, we're going on a field trip and we're going to study these really complicated issues. We're going to have a lot of work to do, but we're going to have some fun while we're doing it. And I think that aspect of EAPS, people don't really understand, that it's kind of both really challenging, but that since it's so interesting and so applied, that it's kind of fun to do at the same time. I know when I was little, you watch Bill Nye and there's an episode on plate tectonics, and kind of watching that is really, really fun. But then actually being able to study that, it doesn't feel like work anymore. It feels like something, you're just figuring out how the world works. And I think that's a really fun part of EAPS.